Hello and welcome to the second of our card and Cuppas for May 2026. My name's Fiona Whitten and I'm here to share the sample card that I took to the event this morning, the kit that we used, and then I'm also going to show you how to put this card together using the kit. So without further ado, other than the fact that I need to make sure that this is going out, making sure that I can see it. Let's see now, just double check quickly. It is, that's fine. I've got the sound muted, so everything's hunky-dory. So this is the card. It's a fancy fold actually, so it looks sort of fairly standard from the front. It's actually a top fold, but when you stand it up, it stands no problem at all. When you lay it down flat, and I'm going to have to do this holding it in my hand, you open it up like so, and there are layers in it. So hopefully you can see those. I hold it like that, sort of lean it back a bit. So there is the back panel, which is actually the inside of the card. There are two other panels that I've added, and there is also two square tubes, for want of a better description, which have also been added inside. And then it's all been decorated using double-sided paper and some rather pretty washi tape from Pinkfresh. So that's how the card looks. So when it's open it looks like that, but it will actually stand like that. Now this video will go up on YouTube, so I am not going to sit here and tell you all the cutting instructions. But what I will do is, once the video is up on YouTube, I will put all the dimensions and the cutting instructions on that in the description. So you will be able to find all of that there. Okay, so kit. What did it include? So the kit included lots of pretty flowered pieces, which this is the washi tape, just so you know. So it comes like this, and from there to there, you see my thumb, that is one piece, which you can put on. You can put it onto vellum, you can put it onto cardstock. It's really up to you. But if you put it on either of those, you can then use the dies to die cut everything else. So there's no fussy cutting needed. So it gives you all of these pieces. There are two dies. So one lot gets cut by one die and then the rest of it gets cut by the other. So it's pretty quick to put it through your die cutting machine. So those are all the pieces. I think, how many things? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 9 pieces. So that's more than enough to decorate the card. And in fact, I seem to remember I had quite a few pieces left over. So we've got the, to go and find it now. Then the basic card, which is a A4 piece of cardstock, which has been, I can't remember if I cut it or not. Nope. So basically it's a piece of A4 cardstock that's been cut in half on the short side at 10.5. So you have that, and then the other piece would have been there. And then scored at the halfway point of 14.9. I'm just going to quickly use my bone folder. The one thing you need to do as you're putting this card together is to keep going back and double checking that the card still folds. So there's a piece of embossed Calypso coral, which is to go on the front. There's a die cut rectangle, which is also going to go on the front, and I just glued those on. I did put this on with dimensionals. And then we have the two pieces which we use to make the tubes. We have two extra pieces of white. So these have all been cut so that they are exactly the same width as the card, so they're all 10.5 wide, but then they're of varying heights. There's a couple of pieces of the double-sided paper. It's not the same as what's in here because I was rapidly running out. So that's what I used for that. And then there is some cardstock, which is for the back panel and then for the tops, just so that they look pretty and finished. So that was all the bits. There were no embellishments because the washi tape has gold foiling on it. I don't know if you can see that from there, but there were sort of gold foiling around flowers and in the centres and things like that. So I decided that really it didn't need any additional bits. Right, okay, so let's start. So the way that I told everybody to make it was to simply glue those two pieces together, which I'm going to do now. Not put the flowers on just yet. And there is a reason for that, and I will show you later why. So that's just going to go in the centre of that, or as close to the centre as possible that I can get it. That's that. And then I'm going to glue this on, so that's nice and straightforward. That's going to go on there. Now make sure that the fold is actually at the top, so your card is going to be that way round. Although at the moment it doesn't really matter because you haven't put, other than that rectangle on there, you haven't actually done anything with it. So there's that. Next we are going to put these rectangular tubes together. Well, so you're going to need a bone folder to make sure that these are nicely scored. Like so. So we're going to do that with both of those. So I'm going to simply fold and use the bone folder to burnish on each of the score lines. Like so. And then we're going to apply glue to these smaller bits here that I have folded up, because they are going to hold the rectangle together. So if you do that and then fold this in half, you will find that it will meet very neatly. So there's one. So there's no messing around trying to get things to work. You just simply put the glue on, fold it in half, make sure that you've matched up everything. If you think you need to trim a little bit off because there's a bit of an overhang, then now's the time to do it. I'm going to do that very quickly. There's not much of an overhang. It's that one. Oops, get that bit there. So there we go. So those are two rectangles. Let's see, where's the edge on this? Oh, I can hardly see it. I think there is a little bit there that needs to be taken off. I'm going to do that first. And then I know that this is all good. No matter which way I put it around, it's going to work. Right, that's those two bits done. Trimmed those, so that's that bit and that bit. Okay. So those two are needed in a minute. So I'm going to look at my inside of my card again. So the first thing I'm going to do for the inside of the card is I'm going to stamp a sentiment on this larger piece of Calypso coral. Now luckily it's a square, so it's 10 centimetres by 10 centimetres, so you don't have to worry about it too much. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that you put the sentiment at the top, so that when the card is open you can still read it above these two pieces. It kind of looks like a toast rack. So that's what you need to do. Now, I very stupidly left my stamp that I used for the sample with some of the others, because they're holding the events for June. So I've just had to dig out another stamp set. So I've got let's see, on your birthday. There's no happy in here. So I'm going to just do it on your birthday. Now I can do that as one straight piece, or I can do it as like on and then on your, but I think I'm just going to do it in a line. I'm going to use this and use the lines on this grid. Okay, actually you could just put birthday wishes. That would work. So those are all lined up, and then I realise that I don't have, yes I do, I have a block here. So those are all lined up. Pick that up. Now I have some Calypso Coral ink. So it's this exact same colour as the cardstock, so it's going to be a tone on tone effect. I'm just going to make sure that make sure it's square, and then as I said, trying to get it central and closer to the top so that you can still see it when the card is open. So that should do it. There we go. So that bit's done. So when I open up my card, this is going to go on the inside of the card. So my folder's at the top there, and this is going to go on the reverse side of this, but at the top. So like that. So that's simply going to get glued there. So that's pretty straightforward, I think. Again, make sure that it's in the right place. So it's got an equal amount of white left, right and top. Bottom we don't need to worry about at the moment. So that's that. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add this larger of the two rectangles. Now they're both exactly the same width, which is exactly the same as the card, and you want it, you want to hide the bit where you've actually joined it together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this almost batted up to the base of the card, so it's like that. So the first one that I'm going to glue is this piece. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, you just pick one. So that is going to go on here, as close to the score line, but not over it. So if I actually lay this down flat, you can see. So there's my score line there, like so. Now I don't want it to go over the score line, because if I did, then I wouldn't be able to close the card. So you want to be able to close the card. So you want to get it as close to the score line, but not over it. So I think that's pretty good. It does still close. And then I want to put some glue on this piece as well, because that's the bit that's going to then stick to there. I'm so glad I'm not writing the instructions for this. Once upon a time I would be doing classes and having to write the instructions for this, and it's just trying to explain yourself. It's just so much easier to be able to show people than it is to sort of write it down. So that's closed up. So now when I open the card, I have that square that sits quite nicely at the bottom of the piece that has the sentiments on. Now I have two pieces, smaller pieces of Calypso coral, which I mean, if you want to, you could stamp on them to decorate them. You could use double-sided paper. It's really up to you. I just decided I was going to use cardstock. So this again is the exact same colour as the piece on the front and the piece that's already on the inside. So that's just going to go on that shelf, for want of a better description, like so. So when the card's being closed down, everything, you're going to have the fold at the top and everything is going to come forwards towards you. And this is what I was saying about each time you're doing something, you need to make sure that that still works and that there's nothing there that's going to hinder it. So that's the first one done. Now the second one is going to be a piece of double-sided paper, which, that's really weird. I need to make sure I got it the right way round. That will probably be why it was not fitting. Okay. So I have a piece of double-sided paper, which I'm going to fix on. So this is it's 10.5 wide and 11 tall from memory. You can tell that my glue is starting to run out, but I really don't want to get a new one out just at the moment. So again, this is going to go up towards the top, and again you want equal spacing top bottom, so top left and right. Oops, that's slipped a bit. This is why I like to use glue and not tape, because it means I can actually move it around. Okay, now this piece is going to get fixed to this front here, like that. But what you want to make sure that happens is that when it's shut, it's not sticking out the top of your card, which mine is going to do, like that. So before I glue it, I'm just going to trim off a piece off the bottom, because I want to be trimming it off the white portion, not the piece that has the actual double-sided paper on. I don't even know if that's going to be enough. So that's going to go on there, and then fold it forwards, make sure that it's not poking out. I think that's going to be okay, which is good. So this time I'm going to put some glue on here. So I've folded it down just so that I can get the glue on there easy, because it's easier to try and stick that white panel to here than it is to try and get the right amount of glue on the back of this. So I just need to pop this up again. my fingers in the right place. That's it. Pop that up. So I want it so that the paper is at the top. So again, I'm going to make sure that it's fine left and right, and at the bottom, and I'm going to close the card down again to make sure that everything fits and there's nothing hanging out. Like that. Okay, so that's that bit. Then we're going to do exactly the same thing again. We're going to put the paper onto the piece of white. Actually, we're not. We're going to put this bit in first. So this is the next piece. So this is the smaller of the two tubes. So that's going to sit here. So we're going to again glue one piece. Like so. That is going to sit on here. Make sure that it's square in the card, as far back as possible. And then again, close down the card. So that should now be glued to the back. And then we want to glue the bottom, which maybe I should have done that first, but hey, I'm just going to quickly put some on here. She says, and you can't see it, which is probably just as well because I made a bit of a mess of it. Right. So that piece is in. Decided it wasn't going to stick. Maybe just use the folder for a minute to make sure it's sticking down like that. And then this piece is going to get glued on here. And believe it or not, we are almost done. So this piece of double-sided paper is going to go on here, like so. Dear, I'm really moving things around here. Definitely a mover and a shaker today. So this, there's the last piece of cardstock to go on, call it the shelf. So that's going to go on here, like so. And then this is going to get glued to here. And again, I'm just going to put the glue on here. Like that. Like so. And again, close it all down, make sure that none of these bits stick out the top and that they all sit nicely within the card. So the reason I didn't put dimensionals on this bit is that with these bits on the inside here, it's already quite thick. So I didn't want to do that, but I am, well, I'm now going to decorate it. So that's my flower for the front. Doesn't have to be, there's so much choice here that you can use whatever. I mean, you can go to town completely with this. And you have so many bits to use. So I'm going to put this on with some foam pads. Here's some already, so I don't need to get any more out. You don't need hundreds on there because again this is not really carrying any weight. So that's going to go on the front. She says that she's picking them off and throwing them around. And you can have it whichever way you want it. In the middle. There's space if you want to put a sentiment there as well. And then the rest of these you're going to glue inside the card. So this one I had one set of flowers going from that corner and the other set on the other corner, but you can, and the reason I did that is that if I put them down the bottom you're not going to see them. So that was why I put that there. That's that. That can go on here. And you certainly don't really want to be putting any dimensionals on the inside here because that will make it even bulkier. This piece can go on here. There are a few little bits that you need to pop out, but hey. So that bit's going to go on here. Like so. You can add another one here. One there. You can put them wherever you want to. So you can't put that one or that one. That's quite sweet, that one. Let's put that one there. So that one's going to go there. So then you've got space to write your sentiment. Here you can write there. You've got enough that if you really want to put one on here, you can do. Or tuck here. It's really, you can put as many on as you like. I kind of like it plainish. But what I am going to do is I'm going to decorate the envelope. And I need to decide which one I'm going to use. I think I'm going to use that one. Now, this washi tape has been put on to the white cardstock as for backing, so that they can glue onto this. I figured if you had the clear, then you would see too much of the coloured cards, the paper in underneath. But you can actually peel it off again. You just need to be really careful. So if you get a sharp pair of scissors or pokey tool and just start in one place, you can, as you can see, start to peel it off. It can be a little bit time consuming. If you break it, don't worry, it's washi tape. Believe it or not, you can actually just stick it still down and those bits will still go together quite perfectly. And then so once you've started, you just need to be careful and slowly take it off. And be careful with like all the little intricate bits. But you should end up with a nice clear piece of white cardstock. And then you can just simply stick down that piece of washi tape that you've peeled off. Like so. Now I think that bit there got curled up a bit. Yes, it did. And so you can uncurl that. Might need to use the scissors for that, just to uncurl it. So there we go. That's definitely not worse for wear. That. So that's that one. So, and that's that one. So I don't know if I can't decide whether or not to add some other bits to this. Kind of like the idea of it, but at the same time it's like, could do that, I guess. But I do, as I said, quite like it plain. So, okay, so that is today's card. So hopefully you were able to follow along and figure out what it was that I did. The luxury of it being videoed means that you can obviously stop the video and go back and watch and put it on replay and whatever else. So these two do stand up perfectly well, like so. They're not going to, like, sometimes when you have top folding cards, they kind of like decide that they're going to split apart. Because you've got the insides there, that's not going to happen. So that's one. And that's the other. And just simply by, if you just manipulate it a little bit, you can get it so that it does stay standing upright. And there we go, without too much fuss. So that's both of those. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. So there's 2 Cardinal Cuppas in June that will be hosted by Trisha and Carol, the live events, and there will be video of me sharing the card and the kit, and making a second card for each of those. And then I will be back, going to be June, no, that is June, July, hey. So that's it for now, and have a great spring, summer. We've got a bank holiday coming up here, so enjoy that, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.